Okay, it is 7:03. I'd like to call the meeting of the Tilton Budget Committee to order. All members are present except for John Bossy. Quorum is present. Let us begin with the meeting minutes. Would you please review them?
I just see one correction on the second page, down towards the bottom. Let's see, third paragraph up. Motion by Chairman Brock to defer on voting on Birch Hill Kennels. It says I think it's D-E.
F-E-R.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad you said it because I didn't know what it was.
I have one on the final page, page 3. Two paragraphs from the end. Just Mr. Brown noted there had been a previous discussion last week on a pay change to an employee. It was just there was a previous discussion at an earlier meeting. It wasn't the week before.
Okay, good.
Because we gave it 2 weeks to mull over.
Yeah. That being said, I make a motion to accept the minutes as amended, are corrected.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, for further discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm abstaining because
Okay.
I wasn't here last week.
Thank you, Eric. Voting in the affirmative, minutes are accepted. Our first guest of the evening. This is not bad.
Well, good day.
I forgot your name already.
Shelley.
Come on up. How's this for a service?
Great, because, yeah, I mean, it's raining, I'd love to be home, and, you know, like, it's been a long day.
No problem. You're representing the Lakes Region Planning Commission?
No,
No.
the Association.
City of Line, go for it. You first come, first serve.
Yeah, I figured I'd come a little early. Yeah, we were very, very appreciative of your support over the years. We've served with a number of clients that are living in the area. We, as you know, we provide vision, as you probably know, we provide vision rehabilitation services. So we go into people's homes and help, you know, people that are completely blind or have significant vision impairments. We help them live independently in their home. And we do this in a number of ways. We go in, we may go in and mark their kitchen cabinets with little tactile buttons so that they can, so someone like, let's say with macular degeneration, is able to feel, you know, where, you know, on an oven where 350 is by just kind of touching the knobs. And we provide them with various assistive devices like different things like cutting boards and things like that in their kitchen, to magnification devices so that they can actually see better, magnifiers with lighting to enhance their vision, CCTVs, which are these, they look like the old microfiche screens, but they're able to put like their newspaper underneath, and they can look on a screen and see the font like huge. You know, some people have like, you know, a word could be like that big on the screen, but it's what they need in order to like pay their bills, read their, you know, read magazines, newspapers, reading cards.
I just large.
Right, large print's where it's at. We also provide orientation and mobility training for people, so that means that we will go to a person's home, or we'll go out, we'll take them out in the community and show them how to navigate with a white cane. And there's a lot of different techniques involved in doing that. That orientation and mobility training is required for people that want to get guide dogs, for example. So we provide that training for anyone that's looking to get a guide dog. We provide volunteer services. I know we do have a few volunteers in the area that are helping with shopping, grocery shopping, and things like that. Going through the aisle with somebody and telling them what's on the shelf. So those are the kinds of things that we do. And we do it pretty well. So.
Can we have your name so that we can make sure that you get...
Yeah, it's Shelley, S-H-E-L-L-E-Y, Prue, P-R-O-U-L-X.
Very bad with names, so
Yeah.
bear
Oh,
with
no,
me.
well, you hear a lot of them, so, yeah.
Excellent. John, do you have any questions for Ms. Brew? No. Jane?
No, but I'm going to have to abstain because I'm on...
Oh, right, you're on the...
Yeah, but I do want to point out one thing. If you read the letter that was provided us, I think it's really important. If you look at the second paragraph from the bottom, the New Hampshire Association for the Blind is the only nonprofit organization to provide this comprehensive range of services to persons of all ages in the Granite State. An all-New Hampshire organization, all services are provided statewide. All funds are raised and expended in New Hampshire to provide these essential services. I think that distinguishes the Association for the Blind from a lot of the organizations we see.
Yeah, that's a good point, Jane. Yeah, we are the only nonprofit.
And I was surprised at how many young people are served.
Well, yeah, there was actually two people. Yeah, we had an 87-year-old in town here, and a woman in her 50s and a woman in her 40s were served in here. So that was like usually most of our clients are older because of the macular degeneration or the diabetes, diabetic retinopathy causes blindness as well. But we did have a couple of younger people.
Jane, anything else? About approximately how many people are you serving in the Tilton area at this time?
We served, right now we've got, I think, 37, there's 37 people in the town
Okay.
that are, we may not have received direct service, but they're accessing us and maybe phoning or have a volunteer or something like that. But we made 9 calls to 3 clients in the area, so that was a face-to-face service for 3 clients. And each one we visited, I think each client we visited 3 times. Might have been a low vision evaluation one time, and then second time maybe setting them up, delivering the devices and showing them how to use it. The other one in some orientation and mobility, downtown weight cane training. We did some of that down in the town this year.
How does federal funding look for the next year?
We don't get any. We don't get any federal funding. That's one thing about us too. We're reliant upon philanthropy for 3/4 of our operating budget.
Okay.
So that's the difference. We're working now trying to possibly get some reimbursement for the services that we provide, maybe using an OT model as opposed to the vision rehabilitation model. That's something that we're going to be working with the eye physicians in the area, statewide, to determine how we could potentially get reimbursed, because the gap is, the gap is widening. I mean, we have a reserve, and we have to tap into our reserve. We have a spending formula that we use, and so we're able to take money out of our reserve, and every year we have to take some, but it depends on a rolling average of what comes in and our requests and all that, and at this point, our requests are falling, down. People are living longer. As they live longer, they don't leave as much or don't leave anything at all, so we're kind of, so we're really, really reliant upon charitable giving.
Thank
And
you.
very appreciative, and I'll tell you, we don't take it for granted either, because we know, we try to earn it.
You
Excellent.
might want to tell them about the upcoming fundraiser.
Oh, geez, you guys, you should come. What we're doing now, and this has been very, very, very effective, we've set up advisory committees across the state, and the advisory committees are charged with offering fundraising events, and also to create awareness events. So we do a dinner in the dark, which features blindfold dining, and I don't know if you've seen it on
Yeah.
Quantico, but we're doing one up here. This is one that the advisory committee in this area is doing. It's on November 10th, and it's a Monday night. And what'll be Randy Pierce, who's the blind hiker, who's hiked all the 4,000 footers. He's going to be he'll be the MC, and he'll discuss how it is to eat when you don't have vision. And he's really, really funny the way he talks about it. And then you put your blindfolds on, and you eat the meal. And you just, and the servers are trained. We go in advance and train the servers, so the servers will come in and say, well, your peas are at 3 o'clock, and you use a clock and to tell people where their food is.
Wow.
And then they give you different instruction, like the bread you use as a pusher, so the food won't fall off your plate. And I'll tell you, it's a riot. And Julie over at Giuseppe's have just bent over backwards for us and gave us a great price. So it's $35 a head. And I'm telling you, you won't believe it when you go. You're just going to be really, really impressed. So check out the website. I think I have a
Sounds
news.
like fun. Don't wear white that day.
What you should do? Oh yeah, don't wear a white. Yeah, don't order the.
Pasta sauce.
I always order the fish. I wonder if we. Yeah, this is. Oh, that was the one. I don't know if it has the upcoming events. Let me just see. But it's very, very, people are just, so we're doing these across the state. It doesn't really, here's some information. It mentions Giuseppe's in there as far as the, but you can go on our website and check that out, and it's, really, really, I think it'll be an evening silent auction. So if you have your women would like to come, and they all love the silent auction. So.
And if you do have a flyer, you could either give it to the selectmen, and we'll take care of it, or Joanna will make sure they get it.
Okay, all right.
And you just email it.
To Joanne, I'll send you a flyer on Giuseppe's. Okay, I will do.
You can go online and make your reservations.
November 10th.
And our own selectman, Pat Constantino, made a cutting board for the auction, so.
Oh, excellent. Eric has you up. It is on your website.
I didn't know, I didn't see the financials in here. Did you guys have them? I know.
Thank you.
I
believe that they were scanned and emailed.
And I think that was early on they were. I think they were the first ones we got, I believe.
Something about them, but I looked, I didn't see them. So it's probably not.
I have audited financials for fiscal year 2013, because our fiscal year, we don't have them yet. We're in audit. Now, would you like these?
They were emailed.
I believe they may.
I believe they were emailed,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have.
They always are, so.
John, would you like a hard copy just to look at?
No, that's okay, I've got them. I thought I remembered seeing them, and
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
see them in here.
I think it was the first one we got,
Yeah.
if I
Other
recall.
questions, discussion?
I don't think they got now.
Oh, there was one thing, which I was a little surprised, the only towns that help you out are Merritt, Milford, and Tilton?
Yep. We used to get money from Hanover. Before, I started working at the association in 2006. So when I came in, I had used to work for the Red Cross before that, and we relied heavily upon allocations from the cities and towns. And the New Hampshire Association of the Blind never did. So when I came aboard, we launched a campaign to try to try to get money from the different towns. But the towns were resistant because they didn't really want to, if you hadn't already got in on the game, they didn't want to start funding anybody else. But I think we do need to revisit that now, trying to pull, Hanover stopped so that they couldn't do it. But I think it is something that we should try to do. But it takes a lot of time and effort to do it in addition to everything else. But we did do a broad-based request. I think probably 2007, and then I think again in 2008, and it just wasn't. We weren't getting anything from the towns.
Pat, you had a comment or something you'd like to say?
Actually, I had a comment. Shelley, part of the Association for the Blind has also come up to the Senior Center, and they put out displays and things for them, different items that they could use or make their lives a little bit better. But Shelley, one of the things that I want the board to know is that what's the cost to the Association for the Blind when we call up and say we have a senior that's blind, and you go to the house and evaluate and set them up just a general initial basic setup? What's the cost to the Association for the Blind to do that?
I mean, I think it could range. The average, I think, I forgot what it is, but between like $400 and $600 per person, depending.
Yeah.
Everybody needs an illuminated magnifier. That's like pretty much a given on anybody's going to benefit from that. And the time it takes, we drive out, we spend time with them, they show us, and you have to love them too, because some seniors take a long time. I mean, you need to be patient with them, and
Watch it.
But some are you have to be very patient. They're having a hard time with their vision problems. They're having a hard time articulating what it is they need, and we go into a kitchen, for example, and just something basic like, how do you know when you've got your frozen foods and stuff, how do you know what is where? I mean, there's markings, there's these little devices called pen friends where they're programmed, and we program them for the people, and then they just touch it'll be press they'll point at this can, and it will say tomato soup. There's all these things that we do, all the setup that we do for them, and but I think on average somebody could between $400 and $600 I think would be average for a person who needed a few devices and needed some training.
Eric, questions? Comments?
Just more curious, how does someone get referred to the Association for the Blind? Is it through their eye doctor, or is it someone?
Most of it, I think, is word of mouth or a family member. We're easy to find. We've updated our website. It's really easy to navigate. If people just type in New Hampshire Blind, they're going to get us. We're at the top of the, and we're getting a lot more online. A lot of family members. So I would say it's probably maybe one-third eye docs, one-third maybe word of mouth, and then probably the other would be just someone like my age calling for my mom. That type, accessing for the mom.
There's a lot of seniors that come in that are not aware of the program.
Well, I'm just.
What's available, just simple simple little things that are available to them that will make their life a lot easier. And sometimes the senior centers will make a phone call, referral. And
No, I'm just thinking of my parents in Massachusetts that,
Yeah.
my mom is fighting, I think she's kind of recovered, she's glaucoma.
Yeah, right.
And, but, I go to her house now, she's got magnifying glass and, but I always wonder, if she's ever,
they're all over.
yeah, and I just, I think she's also a little stubborn. I don't think she would want that help because,
Yeah.
she's proud of being independent, and I think she feels that she would lose. I'm just, it's
No,
just
I
my own
think
person.
More
Right.
independent. It's-
Yeah.
It makes you more independent, and one of the issues, we always have this problem with referrals. People are afraid, and we're going back and forth, and I think I had the same conversation last year here, is that when we call ourselves the New Hampshire Association for the Blind, but only a small portion of the people that we have, that we help are completely blind. Our primary group is people that have significant vision loss, and they don't like it when the eye docs say, and we hear this from the eye docs, when the eye docs say, look, you need to call the New Hampshire Association for the Blind, they're like, I'm not blind. I'm not blind. So we are talking, and we're undergoing this coming year, some strategic planning around making our name a little more user-friendly.
Vision impaired.
Or vision impaired, or yeah, something to that effect. However, on the other side, we're reliant upon philanthropy, and when we say New Hampshire Association for the Blind, people get it. People get what, and people want to give. So from the fundraising side, it's a balance. So I was talking. I had this like revelation. I had just met with an eye doctor. We were talking shop, and I said, why don't we just market our, just have a subset like our business segment, let's say, and market that, call it the Sight Center or something like that, something positive. And then maybe and then say New Hampshire Association for the Blind would be our fundraising arm. It would be still under one 501c3, but just have just call it another program, because we struggle with it, and so.
Shelby, I know one time I knew what the figure was, but all of us in this room understand that they talk about the graying of New Hampshire, and we've seen the graphs and everything of the fact that people are getting older, particularly in this area of New Hampshire. And macular degeneration is one of the major diseases that hit people as they age. And at one time I knew the statistic. Do you know the statistic?
I think they're saying 1 out of every 5 people over the age of 65 are going to develop macular degeneration.
What is that?
Macular degeneration, there's the wet
There's 2 types.
It's basically loss of central vision. If you take your hands like this and go like this, you're going to see the periphery, but you're not going to see the center. So that's what it does. And there's a couple of different types. There's wet macular degeneration, and there's dry macular degeneration.
And the treatment is shots in the eye.
That are effective in treating wet macular degeneration. It's not as bad as I know. I'm the same. I'm very squeamish myself, but it's not as bad as it sounds. Patients, with the relief that patients get, they feel it's worth it. But so they're making some great strides in the wet macular degeneration. The dry
not
tends
so
to just
much.
be kind of
Yeah.
clouds. But people can see. It's funny because I recently we went to the new Clam King over in Manchester. It's not called Clam King anymore. And we brought a client who has macular degeneration. And so we were sitting there, and I was with the orientation and mobility specialist. And I saw, he moved, and I saw the ketchup jar start going like this, and he grabbed it. And it's like, how did he see that?
Yeah.
But it's tricky because you think, they can fake you out too. Because it was happening at the end of he could catch it because it was over here because it was in the periphery. But if it was right, right in front, he wouldn't have been able to see it. So.
Further questions, Eric?
Nope.
Stan?
I
Wow.
know what they do for years. Thank you.
I
John.
love you.
John, follow-ups?
Thank you, and I'm so glad that we can help.
Thank you very much
All
for
right,
coming.
thanks.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you
Now,
so
let's get
much.
you, thank you very much.
So nice.
Your website's easy to get around.
See you, Joanne.
Go home and get,
I'll send you the electronic version of the Giuseppe's information, but you got, I'm telling you, it'll be a night that you'll be talking about for a long time.
super.
Cheap night out for your girl. As long as she doesn't spend too much at the silent auction. Hope she does.
Okay.
Thank you, Jim.
All right.
All right, we're still waiting for Lakes Region Planning Commission to come. Okay, so let's move on to next, some other business.
727.
Before we do discussion on cap and Winnie Transit, John has provided us with,
Yes, for the mileage breakdown last week, and that's taken from the reports that the police department provide us on a weekly basis. And that's the only thing that's not on there in the bar graph is the new cruiser, but the mileage is in the number graph below.
What number on this would be the new cruiser?
It would be it says 3D.
It starts
that the one?
at, yeah, well, I assume so, because the mileage starts at 0.
Last year was,
That's the total mileage of the year.
Yeah,
Well,
I was a little confused
think
because
that.
what,
Oh, you're-
some of the numbers on his reports seem to duplicate.
Oh, I see,
He
yeah.
put 3, and it should be 13. Well, actually, no, it would be the 14 isn't on there, so it isn't on there.
The new one's not.
No. It's not on
Because it'd be
there. I'll have it on there in the next 2 weeks.
good.
thank
PI
you.
is police interceptors, X or EX would be Explorer, and CV would be the Crown Vic.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the police interceptor.
A lot of mileage in a year.
Also, this week, as part of the school budget committee, we were given this handy dandy graph, and John can explain the graph. It's the apportionment by town and the history of the apportionment, because we just went through it, right, John?
Yeah, it's, we tried a couple different changes and ran the numbers through to see what it would do. We could flatten it out by averaging it over 3 years, but it didn't seem to really make any big difference. It bounces around a little bit, but pretty much everybody's had their opportunity to be the high or the low on it. And, sometimes you get people move from one town to the next, and it can change it a lot. So the committee recommended to not make any changes to it, which allows us to make changes like next year or the year after if we decided we wanted to. If we did recommend a change, we'd be locked in on that for like 5 years. So the problem with making a change is you could come up with the best possible change and bring it to the floor, and then somebody could completely change that, which would mess up the whole formula to something that nobody wanted, where, we could change it that pays nothing or something to people. So we decided to just leave it alone, that the numbers looked good regardless of how we tweaked it a little bit.
Okay. I believe there was one other email, and I can't for the life of me think.
It would be the scheduling of
Right, there you go, John.
the public hearings.
Okay.
I sent some numbers or dates over to Joyce and had her take a look at it. she's really great with that stuff. And she came back, and actually we pushed it back to add one more extra week buffer in there.
Okay.
You did, but I didn't print it out.
I can probably pull it up. We can decide on that.
Joanna, well, you also sent the state schedule, correct? Of when those final dates are? So you also got an email with the final dates.
Okay, public hearings. Okay, so the first budget hearing on the operating budget would be Wednesday, January 8th, 7 p.m. The second hearing on the operating budget and money warrant articles would be on Wednesday, February 11th. And there's some other dates on there. So if everybody agrees with that,
John, if you want to make a motion?
okay, I'll make a motion that we hold the first budget hearing on Wednesday, January 28th at 7 p.m.
28th or 8th?
You said 8th originally.
28th.
And then February was,
And then the second budget hearing on the operating budget and money warrant articles would be on Wednesday, February 11th, 2015.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Does that allow for any emergency snow dates or anything like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Hearing no further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. I wanted to give you a couple seconds to catch your breath, sir.
I really apologize.
No, the lady who was here for 7:30 came in, so you're not behind.
Okay.
Okay? Good. This, you would be, yeah, since you get out of here, you're from the Lakes Region Planning Commission.
Yes.
You would be who, sir?
My name is Jeff Hayes.
Okay, Jeff, Hayes?
Yes.
I always do that for Joanna. Good. Well, welcome, sir.
Thank you.
You're okay.
Thank you.
Floor is yours.
Well, I got all kinds of things to pass out. I don't know if that's what you want.
That's fine.
Or what you want if you're looking for some of this paper. This is the letter that we sent out with listing
Thank you.
the town services that we provided over the last year, as well as the regional services that we've provided. This is a breakdown of how we use the revenue by program area, and some of the programs that we have.
And could we have a copy for Pat, please?
Sure.
Pat is one of the two lucky members of the select board who are sitting in with us.
The letter and the thing. And then this is sort of just a glossy thing that just talks about our services.
Thank you.
I might be overdoing it here, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
And then these are, I think you may have already seen these, but these are, we just completed the regional plan for the region. It's about a 700-page document, but this is an executive summary that
Good job, thank you.
that reviews the findings in the regional plan. So basically, Lakes Region Planning Commission, we're an organization of about 30 municipalities centered around Lake Winnipesaukee, or all around Winnipesaukee. We've been around for about 40 years. We do all sorts of different services for towns. The idea is there's economies of scale sometimes in providing services, and some things can be done and looked at more effectively from a multi-jurisdictional angle. I think there's a lot of that done with mutual aid and other programs, and we do it with land use planning. So we're focusing, we're doing a lot more with economic development, water quality and And environmental conservation has always been a focus of the Regional Planning Commission, but the economic development and community resiliency are becoming more and more of a focus of ours in this slow growth time. I think that was one of the real things that we focused on in the regional plan are the demographics of the area. New Hampshire is one of the oldest states in the country, and the Lakes region is one of the oldest parts of New Hampshire. And it's cause for concern for community planning in the future and the economy, what we're going to do about the labor force and other things like that. So where the housing is only a fraction of what it was. I think we're expecting 0.33% growth over the next 20 years or so, which is a lot less growth than we've seen in the last several decades. And so, where growth management has been a focus of regional planning in the past, I think we're more focused on community resiliency and economic development, going forward. So, hazardous, there's a lot of, we assist with hazardous mitigation plans. There's a lot. It seems more of that sort of coming down the road, with they're estimating about 40% of our culverts in the state are undersized, and there's a lot of transportation issues that I think we need to address going forward. So, I don't know if you have any questions for me.
I do, and Pat will start.
You want me to start?
Yep.
I'm fine with the Lakes Region Planning. I think that you will see their work for us very soon with Ernie's in the results of the $400,000 Brownsfield grant that has been with us for 2 years now. The end result is going to be probably in the next month. It will be finished. So they're huge, and plus we just stole one of their employees, so we'll be better off.
That's true. But yeah, Ernie's was one of our brownfields. We do have a current brownfields round.
Stan?
Not really. Just the organization created by the Lakes Region Community, according to state law, is there a requirement for this?
No, it's totally voluntary, totally advisory. Basically, RSA 36 allows towns to form a regional commission and to be members in it if they would like to. It's completely voluntary, and we're completely advisory. We have no regulatory authority or anything like that. We're creatures of, and our governing board is each town, each community appoints 2 commissioners, and that is our governing board that approves our annual budget and our work program. So we're completely creatures of local government.
Stan, further questions?
No, that's all I really have.
Eric?
I don't think I had any for that.
I've been looking through that 700-page, I've got the CD.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I've got the CD, and is that okay to share with the
Oh, absolutely.
PDF? We send you guys that.
And if you would like a printed out copy of that 700-page report, we'll do that for you.
That's
But
okay, save the paper. And
we sort of thought that we would.
yeah, it's great having it on the CDs, and it was, there's a lot of eye-opening stuff in there.
Wow.
As Jane was pointing out earlier, especially when you look at, I don't know if you guys looked at this graph here and saw the way the age is going through.
The older population is starting to outnumber the younger under 50 population.
What do you think that, the widening of I-93 and coming up through there, that might mitigate some of that, because people are going to be moving up here, maybe commuting a little more? Nashua is starting to look more crowded, and Manchester.
There's a lot of people that said that basically in-migration into the state has helped to fuel our growth over the last couple decades, but that in-migration, all of New England is sort of slowing down and aging, and so we're not expecting any of that sort of easy growth from Massachusetts into New Hampshire as much in the future. I think I-93 is a huge transportation project in the state. Basically, a lot of the local and secondary roads aren't getting attention because I-93 is basically using what New Hampshire has for available transportation funding and basically squeezing out a lot of other projects. So getting I-93 done but we all know what the situation on I-93 needs to be expanded. So that's a major priority of the state, and that's a major priority of ours as well. But I think economically, it's important for all the reasons you said, plus economically, but Massachusetts economy is about 10 times the size of New Hampshire, and certainly, they get a flu and we get or they get a cold and we get the flu type thing. So I wouldn't want to underestimate that, but right now the population numbers don't look very good as far as growth, even with the widening going on.
John, I think Eric has a follow-up question to yours.
You mentioned about earlier, I don't mean to jump in,
No, I'm not.
I'm not quite sure how to phrase it, but you hear of some of the bigger companies, like Frudenberg and New Hampshire Ball Bearing, and they're not able to recruit to fill those jobs. What can the area do to get that type of attraction?
I think there's been, the state got a $20 million advanced manufacturing grant, about 2 or 3 years ago. So all the technical college, Lakes Region Community College and the community colleges have been offering very good assistance for the last 3 years in that area, and I think I've helped to fill a lot of jobs with that training and created a lot of partnerships. But that funding is coming to an end. This I guess next September it'll be ending. So I think that the job training is one of the major issues that we have in the state, and then youth retention too. It's funny, in the Business New Hampshire magazine, they just had 2 articles, 2 weeks separated. The first article was that New Hampshire was the #1 best place to live, and by all these factors. And then 2 weeks later, they came out with a study that said that New Hampshire is the worst place for young people to live. One of the worst states for young people to live, and part of it is just there aren't that many young people around, and young people want to be around young people, and there just isn't the sort of attractions for as much in the state for young people. So manufacturing employment is very much what we're thinking of when we're thinking of the population decline, and where is that workforce going to come from in the future? Because we have, the Lakes region has a wonderful manufacturing base, and it's a huge asset we got. But it's we have to pretend it's a competitive thing to keep it.
Do you think that if we don't start seeing an influx of youth, that you might start seeing some of that base fall apart? Or
I think there's a lot of people worried about that. There's a lot of manufacturing employment. There's a lot of engineers. There's a lot of positions that are going unfilled right now, where there's positions available, but there aren't necessarily people to fill them. So I think it's definitely a vulnerability for our region and our state.
We also need the infrastructure to support them being able to get to work and things like that.
Right, like I-93.
Yeah.
And other things.
South of Concord, it's a nice highway, but sometimes coming north
it gets harder as you come north. The problem gets worse and worse. The aging gets worse, and the infrastructure becomes worse. So our aging bridges and highways are a huge issue.
John, anything to finish up with?
What areas does Lakes Region cover? How far north do you go? Yeah.
So we're part of 4 different, the Lakes region is, I think, one of the best, most distinct regions in the state, in that it's connected by the lakes itself and has a single geographic entity that sort of connects everything. But we're part of 4 different counties. We go up into Carroll County with Wolfboro, and Merrimack, and Grafton, and Belknap. And then, so Grafton we go up to like Ashland, and Grafton County, and Wolfboro, and Carroll County is kind of how far north we go. And we go down to Barnstead. So there's I think 6 labor market areas in the Lakes region, and 4 counties and things like that, which make some of this information a little bit of a struggle to pull together, harder than it could be to pull together.
Yeah, I'll share that CD with you guys if you guys will look at it.
It's also
so
on our
much information in
website.
there. Oh, it's
you can,
700 pages?
Well, we have it into different sections.
Yeah.
So you can download, it's a little clunky, I think, having to download the different sections. But I mean, I think
really good.
Most people aren't going to want to read the whole thing. Most people are going to want to focus in on a section or something. And we're working on a guide now to use the regional plan as like a guide for using the regional plan to work on your local master plan. Because there's all kinds of resources that we use for the state studies and statistics and things like that carry into the master plan pretty seamless. So.
Thanks.
Jane, thank you for your patience. All yours.
I'm never patient. I can't say enough good about the Lakes Region Planning Commission, and I want anyone here, if you ever see any workshops being offered by Lakes Region Planning, sign up for it and go. It's well worth it. Unbelievable amount of information, number 1. Number 2, I don't know of any website I use, maybe when I look up RSAs, but the only other website that I use at least twice a week is your website. That's how much valuable information is in there. I'm on the planning board as well as the budget committee, and you've been very, very helpful to the planning board anytime we've called on you. Anyone who happens to be watching this, I want to dispel any fears you have, because there were rampant rumors earlier this year by the commission, the delegation to the Lakes Region Commission, that the Lakes Region Planning was just a governmental attempt to take over local planning boards. That could not be farther from the truth.
Thank you.
So if anyone is listening and heard that rumor and believed that rumor, in my opinion, it was a scare tactic. I think there's a lot we can learn. You're there. We would have gone, the town of Tilton would have gone down a path of a CIP program, spending a lot of money. We were smart enough to call you in, and you came in, and not you personally, but Lakes Region Planning, and finally said, don't go any further, because it's not beneficial to you because of various laws and regulations that have been passed at the state level. Ernie's Place is a real good example. Brownfield grants can be very complicated. You've been there, Johnny on the spot. One of the things that has impressed me the most is in listening to how you approach certain things, for instance, the aging. We would have been very smart to have called you in the past when it came to workforce housing or housing in general, because what we did was we allowed companies to come in and build complexes that probably will not be of too much use to us in the future, because our population is aging. If we had been smart and called you in, we would have gotten advice from you saying, always plan to repurpose whatever you build. In other words, if we had built everything, they're townhouses. If we had said, these all have to be on one floor, we would be able to repurpose those buildings. As I say, I can't say enough about, you're there, you don't try to force anything down our throat, you give us very good advice, and you're a real resource to us, and I appreciate it, everything you do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's very kind.
Good. Further comments or questions from the Budget Committee? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. This
This wasn't as painful as you thought it was.
No, it's...
Welcome.
By the budget committee instead of Rick.
Yeah, this is a...
And you got your breath.
Budget committee hearings I've ever been to, but if I can, please,
Well, in that case.
keep our, maybe I shouldn't. Please keep us, the commission, is you, so, if we can keep us, if you have needs, if there's things that we can improve, website, needs to be updated, whatever, just,
Well, these are the three streets.
One thing we gotta work on is local roads.
well,
Hopefully,
yeah.
some of the stuff we thought were gonna get done this year kind of got pushed off.
Good work, sir.
Do you have an opening
Thank you.
also?
Have an opening?
Yeah.
We
opening?
just hired a bookkeeper.
Oh, I was gonna say, because the last few people who have come in, is, I have an opening, so, things are getting, knock on wood, things are getting better out there on the job.
Yeah.
Almost to the point of the other direction. Where after a while, like you said, it might be tough to get people.
Well, that's what we're thinking ahead to. Thanks.
Thank
We
you.
like Dari, by the way.
Good. I'm glad about that, too.
Okay. Let us move on. We have, for discussion purposes tonight, two organizations to look for funding. One is CAP, and the other one is Winnie Transit. Do I have a motion on the floor for either one, or both?
A motion to what?
As to the amount of money
Oh.
we should think about allocating.
I would like to make a motion to give community action, let me get my sheet, what, do you have it right there?
23,389?
Yeah. To give them $23,389.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
What's that, sir?
I'll second it.
Eric seconded. Discussion.
Just for the taxpayers out there, people watching, everything I've heard about this organization is, it's just great for our town, great for our people. The notes from the welfare department on how helpful they are. Like we always talk about the aging of the community. These are the people that are getting helped also on these. Winter's coming.
Further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Chair will entertain a motion in regards to Winnie Transit.
What did we give them in 2013?
2,500, I think.
2,500. And last year we gave them 5,000?
I think last year we gave them, I'm sorry, we gave them 2,500 last
That's what I
year.
thought. I was looking.
And I think the year before we gave them 5.
On our sheet
Just
for this year, the budget that, we're working on right now, not the new one that we're building, it has it as 5,000.
We may need to have the selectman who's in the room address that, because I think,
I thought we gave 2,500 last year.
John or Pat, can you give us guidance?
I thought we gave 2,500 too.
I do too. I believe it was 2,500.
Because there was considerable discussion about it, because people didn't know what they did.
Right, and during
We can beat Pat to this.
the presentation, I believe,
Try and beat Pat to it.
During the presentation, the gentleman came in and said, thank you for the $2,500. So I think it was 25.
What did what did the director say?
I think we have it as Community Action Transit,
Yep.
Yeah,
2,500.
She said that it saved us a lot of money, and she recommended that we fully fund.
I'm going to make a motion that we fund the Cap Winnie Transit at $3,000.
I'll second that motion.
Okay?
They approved 5,000, it says here, 2014 approved is 5,000 for the Winnie Transit. And the 2015 request is 5,000.
But I'm pretty sure we just approved 2,500 last year.
Yeah, that's what the finances,
On
am I looking at the wrong thing?
on the 2013 annual report,
That Tim just gave us.
on the 2013 annual report online, the budget committee recommended 2,500 and the Board of Selectmen was 5,000.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what happened.
different.
Okay, so John, your motion is
It was for $3,000.
$3,000. Is there a second?
I seconded it.
Seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay.
Nay.
Derek, did you vote?
Yeah, I said aye before.
Okay, 3-2? Well, let's make sure. Could I see hands, please? All those in favor, raise your hand. 3. All those opposed, raise your hand. John, your motion is carried by 3-2.
Well, it doesn't matter now.
Go ahead.
In 2013, we approved 2,500.
Okay, those are the only ones on the docket for tonight. Scheduling. We do have a request from the Lakes Regions Partnership for Public Health, which we talked about a little bit last week, which is, the question that rose was, we do not have an amount that they are requesting on the form.
Cert.
They came in your packet tonight, your new packet.
All right.
I didn't get one.
Can you get one?
I didn't get one.
It's in the back of the packet, too.
I'm sorry.
No, I didn't.
Happens upstairs. I didn't get one.
No, I did not get one. This is all I
get one
have.
either?
No.
Here's a copy, Jane.
Jane, we'll get you one.
Right here.
In fact, I'll trade.
I have this back, I just wanted to take a look at it.
Thank you.
Pat, you're all set? Yeah. Okay. Do we want to schedule them? Or do we need further information?
My thoughts are that we had a deadline for all these budget things, and we've stretched it a little bit, even though we said we weren't going to. We've got, I think, big brothers, big sisters that said they want, have we seen anything from them yet? They should stick by the schedule, and they know when it is, and if it's not in, that's it. And, I mean, we don't have a financial report from them. We don't have anything in. What we're doing is we're telling the citizens in the town that to donate money, but we're not just asking them to. We're telling them, you're going to go and you're going to donate to these organizations. And they need to get on the ball and get the stuff in here on time and get it to us so that we can present it to everybody. And I can't see putting anybody on the schedule, and I would like to just cut any further additions to our
Okay.
funding off. I'll make a motion to that.
Yeah, go
And I
make a motion.
and I second that motion.
Motion is made.
My motion is that we will not consider any more organizations or donations that have not already been submitted to us in our hands at this point.
Jane, is that the nature of your second? Discussion. Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Okay. Other business. Does the board, Budget Committee have other business? We will schedule for next week a discussion on Lakes Region Planning Commission and the New Hampshire Association for the Blind in regards to funding.
Want to vote on Lakes Region Planning now? Would you guys want? Or did you want to wait till next week to vote
Yes.
on Lakes Region Planning? Okay.
Let's put a
I'm
week
ready
in.
now.
Right, I know, let's put a week
Okay.
between them. We've got time. For once, we have time.
We are. We're doing good.
Any further items?
I was just thinking, are there any other scheduling issues? We had,
Last week, we discussed
were there any
Genesis.
that were not, for some reason, I just think we have like an open, need to discuss something on scheduling, adding somebody to the schedule that we were,
Last week, we discussed Genesis. Motion was made and not passed to schedule them.
as soon as we shut the cameras off and I walk outside, I'll remember what I'm
Not a problem.
thinking. It's just, the quick thought through it, and it wasn't them.
We get the Pines rescheduled.
Pines
You know
are
what? I think that's what it was.
Oh,
We
yes.
had an email or something about Pines.
The Pines did, thank you for reminding me. Pines is asked to be scheduled for the second week in November, if possible, with a substitute date for the first week in December. Is the committee comfortable with that?
What, when in November?
Second week in November.
We have an opening, I don't
And if that
think.
didn't work out, they'd be able to do the first week in December.
According to your email, they were looking at
There you go.
for 11/19
Okay,
or 12/3 is workable.
good job.
So that would be the third week in November, I think. Yeah,
I'm not gonna get it.
that'd be the third Wednesday in November. 19th or the 3rd, skipping the date we don't have a meeting. Is a problem.
There's a November calendar.
Yeah, so it'd be the 3rd.
There's a November.
No meeting because of, not election day.
No,
It was
no, the
18th.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Thanksgiving Eve, where we all take
Does the Budget Committee have a preference?
I would say the earlier the better, but is there, there's no conflict with Thanksgiving, right?
Well,
I think it's the 20-something.
27th?
Right.
Personally, I just think the earlier the better, because snow is coming.
well, on the 19th,
know?
on the 19th, we currently have Youth Assistance Program,
It's quick.
beginnings, and that's all. And we have, on December 3rd, we currently already have the Tilton Sewer Commission, the Lockmere Village District,
Right.
and Red Cross. So we already have 3 coming on the 3rd, so I would say go for them.
Okay. And they will be Jim Doan's Brittany, the young lady that works with him, and the rec council's also asked to be present, so, which is
They
good.
usually come.
Yep. So, 11/19. Joanna, is that workable?
Sure.
Could you send him an email and
Sure.
confirm? Any further business for the Budget Committee? Not trying to rush you, but the World Series is on tonight. Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Non-debatable, all those in favor?
Right.
Go and enjoy this rainy day. See you next week.
And I'll call you Mom.
Okay.
You know.
Maybe some on that piece of paper.
Yes.
Glass, is all the data.
Okay, thank you.